All right, it's Monday morning. It's time to go and start our Bible memory challenge for the week. We got to get through this week, and we will have knocked out all of chapter 1, and then we'll take it all next week off to kind of fine tune and catch up and give our brains a little bit of a rest. Our brains need to rest as well. So that's part of memory work, is to actually let your brain rest. So don't look at that as being lazy or being undisciplined. No, look at that as being productive. So let me go and just be honest with you about this week. I would rather just be quite frank with you so you know what you're getting into. To me, this week, some of these verses are a little more challenging. At least a couple of them are. So I just want to kind of go ahead and give you a little bit of a heads up on that. They're challenging for me. But of course, it may be they're just challenging for me. They may not be for you. So, we all, learn differently. And something that might be easy for me may be hard for you. What may be easy for you may be hard for me. So I'll lay that out there. But just want to kind of give you a heads up. Today's verse is verse 26, and we're just picking up from what we looked at on Friday when Paul said in verse 25, he says, "Convinced of this, I know that I will remain and continue with you all for your progress and joy in the faith." And now he's going to continue that thought in verse 26. So once again, do your review work from last week. And then go to 26. 126. "So that in me you may have ample cause to glory in Christ Jesus because of my coming to you again." 126. "So that in me you may have ample cause to glory in Christ Jesus because of my coming to you again." It's not a real long verse, but I have to kind of really think about what Paul is saying here. And he uses words here, the ESV does, like, you may have ample cause. I don't ever use the word ample in my regular speech. And I don't know, just to me, it was a little challenging. And I remember I had to draw some pictures. I'm looking at my notes here. I drew a very crude picture of like once again, a man, a head, and a body, and I wrote the word "me" inside of that. So in me, and then I drew the word "ample" with an arrow pointing over to a cross, and then these little, almost like the sun shining down on the cross. That just reminds me of glory. So in me, you may have ample cause to glory in Christ. Just little things to try to help me to, sort of get that verse. And another little tip you might want to do is if you have trouble kind of trying to grasp what the verse is saying, look at it in a different translation. I'm using the ESV, so like on this verse, I went this morning and looked at the NIV and the NLT. I love the way the NLT translates this verse. Let me read it to you. Sorry, I have to look aside here. But NLT says, "And when I come to you again, you will have even more reason to take pride in Christ Jesus because of what he is doing through me." Now, to me, that's very clear. And so if I were using the NLT, I think this verse will be much easier for you than for me learning the ESV. So anyway, that may be something that helps you. If you really kind of get stuck trying to figure out what Paul's saying, look at it in a different translation. And that may kind of take some of the fuzziness away from what's being communicated. But anyway, once again, as we always do, just review read the verse slowly 10 times. Really think about what Paul is saying to you, and then cover it up and see if you can get it from memory. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. You guys, let's get through this week. And we're going to celebrate next week and then take some time off. But God bless you guys, and you have a great day.